Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, January 20th already. Anyway, I'm just going to log in here and do my January 20th Wednesday mystery stamping hour. So I'm just going to go through all the clues with you and hope you enjoy what you're going to create. Alright, so I'm back. So before we get started, if you are ordering anything from me between January 15th to 31, right here is the host code that you're going to want to use. And if your order is $200 or more, do not use the host code, because then Stampin' Up! Will allow you to use the host codes on your own order. If your order isn't over $200, then go ahead and use the host code, and yeah, we'll go from there. So again, it's Wednesday, January 20th today, Mystery Stamping Hour supply list. So the first thing we need is a piece of 11 by 4 1/4 scored at, and I've made a mistake here. This should be 5 1/2 scored, not 5 1/4. So let me correct that. So 5 1/2 scored. So typical card, just typically we use 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. But in this case, we're going to do the 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. All right. Then you also want a piece of that same color that's going to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. You want a piece of contrasting cardstock that is going to be 2 5/8 by 4 1/4, and also a piece for the inside, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I've just put optional here because depending if you're using white cardstock, obviously you don't need a piece for the inside. But if you're using colored or darker cardstock, you'll definitely want to put a piece on the inside. A piece of basic white cardstock. So again, a piece for the inside, which is going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. A scrap piece for your image that you're using, and a scrap piece for your sentiment that you're using. Your DSP, which is the designer series paper or patterned paper. You want 2 1/2 by 4 1/4 for the front piece, and then a 1/2 inch by 3 7/8 for your inside if you're decorating the inside. An embossing folder, and then your stamp set with an image and a sentiment. Punches or dies or scissors to coordinate with the stamp set to cut out your image and or your sentiment. Ink that coordinates with your DSP or cardstock. And then any embellishments that you might want, and your adhesives. All right, so that's our supply list that we need. Once you've got that ready, we'll move on to the clues. All right, so in this, I'm just going to flip these this way now. All right, so for clue number 2, actually let me put a clear piece. You want to fold and burnish your card base along the score mark. So again, your card base should be 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and then you're going to fold it. Right? Clue number 3 is emboss your piece of 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, which is the piece that's the same color as your card base. All right, and again, I'm just going to keep going through the clues because you can stop and start the video whenever you want to. All right, so that's clue number 3. Okay, moving along to clue number 4, sorry. Adhere your embossed piece to your card front. All right. Okay, and clue number 5. Adhere your piece of 4 1/4 by 2 1/2 DSP to the 4 1/4 by 2 5/8 piece of contrasting cardstock. Okay, clue number 6. Adhere this piece across the center of your card front using dimensionals. Now, if you don't have dimensionals, it's not a big deal. I did use them to pop mine up though a little bit. Okay, and clue number 7, stamp your sentiment on a piece of scrap white and punch or die cut it out. And clue number 8 is adhere your sentiment to the bottom right corner of your card front. Now, you don't necessarily have to go right to the very bottom corner, but in the bottom corner area. Okay, clue number 9, stamp your image on a piece of scrap, scrap whisper white, and punch or die cut it out. Okay, clue number 10, adhere your image over the DSP piece on the center of your card front. And again, you can use dimensionals for that to pop it up. Clue number 11 says to add ribbon and or any other embellishments that you want to add to your card at this time. Okay, and here's clue number 12. Now, this is where I was saying it was optional if you want to decorate the inside of your card. So you're going to adhere the pieces of cardstock to the inside, starting with the piece of contrasting cardstock that's 4 by 5 1/4, and then adhere the piece of white that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 over that contrasting piece. Next, you're going to stamp your image in the corner if you want to, like just a small image in the corner of the inside of your card. And then adhere the piece of DSP that you had cut at 1/2 inch by 3 7/8 to the very bottom of the white piece. All right, and clue number 13 is your mystery is solved. And here's what the card looks like. So that's a picture of it, and then this is mine that I did right here. And then, and I put a little ladybug trinket. This is the new set from the catalog. And then here's what I did on the inside. So there's that piece of designer series paper at the bottom. All right. So what I used in making this card was the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and this coordinates with the Dragonfly Punch. Again, these are all in the new catalog. So that's what the Dragonfly Punch looks like. It's got 2 dragonflies on it, and these actually coordinate with the designer series paper from this same, it's called Dandy Garden, and there is dandelions in this paper that actually you can cut out with the punch. There. So if you line these up, you can actually cut out dragonfly images to put on cards. So that's kind of cool. All right, so again, that's the Dragonfly Garden, the Dragonfly Punch, and the Dandy Garden DSP that I used for this card. Also, that comes in the suite. You can get the 2 stamp sets, punch, dies, paper, and then these little ladybug trinkets are included in that suite as well. And they're so cute. Hopefully you can see those okay. So, yeah, that's what my card was made of this week. I want to see pictures of your cards after you've created them. And again, if you are placing an order, I would appreciate it if you would use my website. Make sure you're shopping with Bev Lee, Stamping with Inkie Fingers, and use that host code if your order is under $200. All right, have a great week, everybody, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.